What's the most out-of-touch thing a rich person has said to you? 1. Had some kid in his early 20s start working at the restaurant I was at, total trust fund baby, but his parents made him get a job where they would cut him off phone, car, apartment, school, credit card, everything. We were talking about plans for the summer. I mentioned I was going to take a weekend to head north and visit my mom. Someone else was going camping. Another guy was taking a long weekend to help his brother move. He goes, geez, you guys have no idea what vacation means, do you? I'm taking my girlfriend to Spain for 2 weeks and then spending a few days in Italy before we come back. He got really upset when I asked him where he was going to work when he came back. Apparently he didn't understand that taking 3 weeks vacation not even 2 months into a job isn't a thing, especially when part of that was during our busiest season of the year. Even better when we all looked at him and told him we couldn't even afford a week off, let alone in Spain. He didn't last long. 2. I was working at a car dealership and saw the owner pull up in a $250,000 Porsche GT3. Told him how much I loved the car and dreamt of owning one someday. The owner looked at me confused and said, what do you mean? We sell them right here, you know. Totally blew my mind that he didn't realize his employees couldn't afford the cars they were selling. 3. In college I made most of my money cleaning and tutoring for rich families. Here are the highlights. It's so much more convenient to have a sauna in your house. We ordered our wallpaper from Europe. It's the only way to go. I just bought the empty lot next to ours so we won't have neighbors. And my personal favorite rich person's kid goes, gosh, I can't find any babysitting jobs. They've been taken by the 1%. Rich parent goes, honey, you are the 1%. It's a good thing that the parents are informing the kids to recognize their privilege. 4. They lived in Boston and we were talking about how small condos are there. They were lamenting that they had no space and as a result they had to buy another condo. This was Beacon Hill, because they ran out of space to store their Persian rugs. 5. I dated a rich guy who loved my authenticity and he would pick me up in one of his dad's cool collector cars and take me to record stores. When I went to visit him I showed up in my grandpa's old Ford F-150 truck. He asked me why I drove around in that thing. I shrugged and said, because I'm poor, and he said, no you're not. It was like I ruined his whole hipster aesthetic and he realized I wasn't grunge. Like yeah but I wore a flannel from the thrift store because it was cheap, not cause I was making a fashion statement. 6. I was venting to a schoolmate about not being able to have a car. She said, why don't you just ask your mom? It literally broke my brain. Like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? 7. She says money has been tight so we have to wait a couple more weeks before we break ground on the new air-conditioned stable for the horses. 8. My boss is an attorney. A client who was filling out her financial statement for a divorce realized that she had forgotten to include her student loans on the report. Laughing somewhat ruefully, she said, I can't believe I forgot to include that. And in a bright sunny voice my boss laughed and said, I sometimes forget that I own a boat. The client and I quietly locked eyes with a shared understanding of how out of touch that was. 9. It's only $1,000. Okay, money man, then give it to me. 10. How often do you go sailing? Said by the guy that knew I was struggling financially. 11. Where do you summer?